backtrack a bit through COVID when, of course, no one was visiting. And then right after COVID, we started inviting customers back in. And they were all saying to me, and they're still saying, there's something different. Your employees are happy. They're engaged. They're heads up. And I say, isn't that how it's supposed to be? And it's an interesting dynamic, and I really think it comes from, we're a family-owned firm. We've got a hire-driven mission with the humanitarian work. Our employees are very involved in those discussions with us. They understand the products they're making. Our managers are very approachable. In the good times and the bad. We're very open with things called Brilliant Awards here. Brilliant Together is our theme of the business. We reward employees for bringing us problems, and we reward them with monetary rewards. So I think they feel very open and welcome, and I would never want it to be any other way. We're about 65% DoD on the sales side. That is not from the actual assembly CCA count because the DoD drives a higher material value add. We generate about 40 to 50,000 circuit cards a month through here, of which about 40% of those go into some kind of upper level box build. So the employees are involved in that entire stream. And they do flex, working from a box build cell down to our first floor and to some of the other SMT and other operations. We see a myriad of projects from what I would say low complexity, things like water alarm systems and indoor shot detection systems, to mid complexity medical products that we're building, and then very high complexity where we're very sought after for RF and a number of the tools we've brought in to support that for very, what I say, really bleeding and leading edge technology of the future.
At Microboard, our bread and butter is the more complex boards, right? So, and because of that, and because we're not an OEM, we're constantly making different boards and different assemblies, as well as we're supporting our customers. We have a small customer base where we pride ourselves in really being strong partners. So not only are we producing their boards time and time again, we're helping them with NPIs, which all of that creates unique challenges where we're not seeing the same thing over and over again. Inspection is a very critical component of what we do. So we are building these complex boards, right? And we have in-process inspection is extremely important. We do 100% inspection of everything, visual inspection of what goes out the door, but we can't rely on people to catch everything. Even we have a 99% first pass yield at final inspection, and we only see about less than 1/10 of a percent of RMAs that we get back off after maybe 500,000 CCAs a year. So very low return rate, right? In order to do that, we have to have very strong inspection capabilities. Or in-process inspection capabilities. So back to your question, extremely important. Our equipment, we make a lot of investment in our equipment. Our AOI machines, our X-ray machines, our solder paste inspection, as well as our functional test, extremely important. And so maintaining a partnership with the suppliers and knowing what capabilities are out there, what functionality they have, as well as what's up and coming, so we know when to make that next investment and make the next, when the next step change in technology happens. Our existing equipment is Ko-Young, and we've had a very strong track record with that equipment. So now as we're looking to invest again in it, yes, Ko-Young has been extremely helpful in providing that type of information we need, what is next on the horizon, their product offerings, what differentiates them from others. Of course, we're looking at the others also to compare, but Ko-Young's been a wealth of knowledge as far as what's there currently, as well as what is potentially upcoming. Because we do complex boards, the solder print is extremely, if you don't get that right, nothing happens after that, right? So that's extremely important. In fact, it's a little different technology, but we have a machine that measures the stretch of the boards. So we noticed that because we're getting that, so many 0201s, we're not yet to the 1005s, but we see it in the future. We have boards that have 5, 6, 7, 8,000 components on each side, the size of a letter. A letter. So because of that, we have to be extremely accurate. All right. So that's from a solder print perspective. So then when I think about getting that right, the AI portion. So right now I would say we're reactive. right? So the equipment gives us information. We take that, we say thank you, we do our analysis, and we go figure something out as quickly as possible, real time to adjust the lines so we're not making defects, but then also after the fact to feed back to the customer or engineering to make it better. Where I see AI being very powerful is if it can do inline recommendations, be more proactive. To say at Solder SPI we're seeing something, so or maybe even at AOI we're seeing some shift. So now we can push that back to our placement, our SMT placement, or push it back to, we're starting to see, we can push that back to our printer. And I don't think we're ready to let the system make those adjustments for us, but at least provide the recommendations that we can then take action on. And that's, I'm excited about that. What I'm ready for right now is the challenges we have that everybody has around how quickly can you program. Right? You get a new board, and we're programming a lot because we're getting new revs a lot. So how quickly can you program? How can you reduce the false failures? And then, and what I would really like also is we still have our operators making the call. Right? Is this good or bad? I would love, and I know it's out there, but to see more of the recommendations to help the operators.
Where we take our first step is always with people. You got to have the right talent. You've met some of our talented engineering team, and it all starts with people. And then it drives down to process, talking with the Go-Young team. Make sure the right technical equipment that's available that's the most available in the market to get us where we need to be. And then we, drive that with the systems. So we take a very holistic approach, and that's been the key to make sure that we can continue to drive more complex products into the business. We took, with a lot of our growth, and focused on very complex products. We really wanted to make sure that our partners were in quite often. So we're bringing them in quite often, identifying what's the new technologies, what's the latest and greatest things. AI was all over the APEX show this year. Some of that is real, some of that still needs some development. But we're trying to make sure that we're very methodical about how we work with our partners to make sure that as we recapitalize the assets, what you'll see is we are cutting edge technology and making sure that we're continuing to plan for the future. So we take more of a 3-year approach, primarily on everything. In my role, I oversee manufacturing, engineering, facilities, as well as IT. So we're trying to take an integrated systems approach. So we look at it holistically. Some folks are looking at AI specifically. We're targeting, finance, back office, front office. AI has been in the back office for years. And when you look at our shop floor, everything has inputs and outputs. And it's how do we best leverage those I/O to convert that to good data. I first interviewed with Nicole. There's ones and zeros for all over here. But how do we get the right information to make the right decisions at the right time? I call that fingertip data. How do we give these folks fingertip data to make the best decision at that moment? And that's the real key, because data in itself, we generate a ton of that. And it's how do you make sure that you can synthesize that down to what our operators can make a decision on at that moment.
I'm just so proud of the people we have here. It took me a little while coming through COVID. I'm building this management team. I'm just so blessed that so many of them have joined us. So we're ready. We're ready to take this company to the next level. We're ready for that second site. In the scheme of things, we're still small compared, but we're mighty in the way we deliver our services. So I want to keep doing what we're doing. I don't want to lose the missions work. I don't want to lose the family culture. There will be no private equity in here. We'll have some leverage on the balance sheet that will be very conservative and smart. And we will conservatively grow the company with adding another 6 to 8 customers over the next 3 to 5 years.